Thank you so much for sticking with Citizen TV. A lot of your feedback is coming through on our Twitter handle at Citizen TV Kenya, on SMS line 22422. You can even call in and still be part of this conversation. 0719 777 is your number. In fact, let's take a look at some of your tweets, some of your thoughts in regards to the conversation we've been able to have so far. All right, Lazaro, you say problems with devolution is not the number of counties. The problem is corruption and impunity plus incompetency. We rushed to pass the new constitution without putting strict laws to guide public money and property down there. Hashtag Daybreak. Okay, let's take a look at another one. Habitas, slashing the counties is a big joke. The biggest challenge we have is not about the number of counties, but corruption. The so-said 1 trillion to be saved after merger is not realistic. We can still save even more with the 47 if corruption is fought. You agree with that?
10%.
You 10%. All right, strong one. You say devolution has eased service delivery to the ground and much is being realized across the units. The counties need support and not cutting down the number. Bungoma is well on course to realizing the fruits of devolution beyond the previous wheelbarrow. Kudos to Governor Wangamati.
My goodness, this wheelbarrow tag, Bungoma will have to get really away from that. Francis Kigondo says, I'm so tired of IFMIS being blamed for wrong reports. Don't you read through the report before signing it and presenting it, for example, to Senate or Auditor General? Can a principal of a school be forgiven for such? This is incompetence of the highest order. All right? Zinzi, let's go.
All right, Winnie, you say, let's talk more actions to fight against corruption.
All right, and we have one more. Biko Obimbo, even less. We need to go federal, do 12 to 16 states. We've seen fruits of devolution. What we need now is more resources and efficiency in management. You can keep sending us those thoughts and we'll respond to them as soon as we can. Governor Dhadho, I interrupted you. You were talking a little bit about particular matters before we took the break, and you can also respond to any of the SMSs that caught your attention.
Yes, I was saying that there's apart from the perception, there is a lot of gamble within counties. By even public servants. Traditionally, you wouldn't see civil servants probably involving themselves into politics. But now you'd find most of them also trying to play.
So you're being fought on every side?
There are MPs who want to be governors, senators want to be governors, civil society hyping issues, and all matters revolve around what the governor does every other day. So there's that perception that so much is happening, a lot of corruption is happening in counties, but I can tell you there are a lot of challenges in counties, not just about what people are talking about, corruption and all that. The challenges are many. And I think probably Wangamati has talked about a bit about the challenges that he has. They may be different. Bungoma may be having different challenges from Tana, from wherever, all that. Then talking about the issue of
as you compose your thoughts, let me get this from you. Does corruption, do the stories of corruption affect you? Let me give an example. Last week was a long one for governors.
Yes.
Waititu arrested. Meanwhile, one of the papers suggested that governors of at least 3 counties were being questioned by the EACC over different matters. And last month, the EACC told a local newspaper that 20 governors are on their radar. I hope you two are not part of that list.
No,
20. Does that concern you, Governor?
Yeah, it is a matter of concern, but I hope the rest of the processes will just continue. I don't want to get into that one so much.
You don't want to get into that one so much?
Yeah, but I was just talking about the issue on the issue revolving around governors being corrupt. Apart from these people just hyping things, something small, just something very small might happen on probably water. For example, Tana, the water is coming out a bit nasty. Somebody will say money has been eaten already. There was just an issue some time back saying that there are issues in Tana River County about the Auditor General's report. Then somebody just hyped. Those were queries. And it went all over that already 598 million was already misappropriated, which was not true. But on the issue of support to the Auditor General's office, I wouldn't go emphasizing on what Governor said, but it is really our concern. And I want you to look at probably the caliber of governors we have. Leave alone these other issues that look a bit gray, some bad things have happened, but generally, you look at the level, the caliber of governors we have. Look at Wangamati, look at Godana, look at Professor Anyang' Nyong'o, look at Kibwana, look at my friend here, Oparanya. Just look at, these are people who have gone through politics, people who had concerns with the way issues were being handled. These are people who led the reforms in the Constitution, people who have worked in government for many years with a lot of experience. And I wouldn't imagine, looking at the people I'm talking about, that they have any bad intentions about the counties that they want to command. All right, I mean,
Governor Wangamati, matters county and corruption. Earlier on, before we went to the commercial break, 10%, as you were saying, is just too small for counties in terms of budget allocation from the 2.7 trillion budget. But Governor, if we are not able to allocate, or rather to account for the 10%, then how will we be able to account tomorrow for 10, 30, 50% of county budget if we can get 10% correct? That's where most of the thieving that we've seen is happening at county level.
Just before I come to that question, just comment on the tweets.
Right.
I think what comes out from those tweets is that most Kenyans feel the issue is not about reduction of counties. I think the issue is about dealing with the corruption across board and at both levels.
Those are threats.
Both at county level and at the national level. Because this corruption is not just at counties. I think it's at both levels. Secondly, I think the question that Maura mentioned, that whether as kinds of governance we are concerned with what is happening, you know, the recent issues that are happening in Kiambu. Yes, as a kinds of governance, of course, we are concerned. We want to run our counties in a way that enables our citizens get maximum benefit from the resources that we get from national government and as much as that we collect from locally. I think we would like all the agencies that are involved to carry out their process in a very transparent, accountable way. I remember, Kibiku, that when these issues came up of Governor of Samburu, I think in the papers, and I just want to add to what Governor Tana River mentioned, the number they were talking about that had been embezzled was about 2 billion Kenya shillings. You know, very misleading information. 2 billion Kenya shillings had been lost. But as we speak now, what is in the courts is about Kenya shillings for 3 million. So you see, the perception that you create in the media, the perception that you create in the Kenyans is that this governor stole about 2 billion Kenya shillings. But when the fact starts coming out, you realize that it's what they're talking about is now for 3 million. What they have charged the governor for is about Kenya shillings for 3 million. But does somebody now remember for 3 million? Does somebody even know the for 3 million Kenya shillings? Everybody knows about the 2 billion that was flashed in the papers, in the headline, that the governor is being investigated for loss of 2 billion. So I think
is there a difference if you steal 43 million or if you steal 2 billion? Isn't it all still?
But you see,
or if you're accused of stealing, rather?
I think Maura, first and foremost, is a perception. The moment you talk about 2 billion, the perception now changes that all governors are stealing, you know, a lot of money. I mean, it doesn't matter whether it's for 3 or 2 billion, but the perception, you know, the quantum of the amount is also very important at the end of the day. But coming down to what she asked me about
accountability of the 10%.
10%. And I think it's important that when devolution happened in 2013, the systems and institutions that were created to make sure that there's transparency and accountability have taken a bit of time. But as we speak now, where I sit as the governor of Bungoma, the processes that are being instituted by Treasury and our own Treasury in counties, it is becoming very difficult to actually mismanage resources at the county level. I think even now, just to give you an example, is that, you know, previously, if people are going for something and they get money for per diem and, you know, all these things. But I think it has changed now, Governor, that now all these per diems are being paid direct to people's accounts. So that, you know, this idea of going to withdraw 5 million or 4 million or whatever it is, and then that money is not being accounted properly, we are moving away from it. I think devolution will evolve. Accountability will also evolve with the time. I think we don't expect that after 5 years of devolution, everything should be running smoothly. I think we have challenges. And I believe in another 10 years, you know, if you look at devolution, the first term devolution, the second term of devolution, I think things are changing. The accountability is happening. Well, and I think that is going to continue happening in the near future. All
right, Governor Godhana, the BBI is saying that in terms of corruption, asset recovery is where the battle will be won. We've seen even in the past, last week, headlines such as Graft Purge unearths rags to riches tales of secret millionaires in Kenya. Someone who earns about 100,000 Kenyan shillings has about 600 million in terms of assets. So BBI is saying that the recovery of assets, that's where the war on corruption would be won. As Governor for Tana River, what is your contribution to this fight in terms of, especially in terms of recovery assets?
Yes, I would agree. And that would probably be best addressed through lifestyle audits. Because there's no way somebody earning, say, 120,000 then would own 2 aircrafts, some 20 bungalows, an estate, a number of cars and all that. So I think lifestyle audits would best address that kind of challenge. But then how and who actually does it? You've seen, even at national level, people struggling to get to deal with people like those ones. People just fire and say, I started charcoal burning, and then I started selling chicken, and he will explain a lot of struggles that he has gone through to be able to acquire a lot of wealth. And sometimes we ask, really? I also tried the same thing. I tried many things, but I've not been there.
You've not made the billions.
I've not made the billions. But people are making it. So it is about probably learning their tricks, but that's not the issue. So I think we'll get there, even in counties. Getting to, we have to have people to be investigating these CIDs, the EACC, and most of the agencies, civil society, to be bringing out these things. But of course, in a good way.
Do you sometimes question the source of wealth of some of your colleagues? In the Council of Governors, flashy, chase cars, you name it, you meet them somewhere, you wonder if you're both serving your counties or...
No, I have not identified any that I can
You have not identified any that you would have concerns about?
That I have concerns about, because I know some of them have actually gone through. They have been in system, they have worked in very in government, in private sector. They have acquired what they have acquired generally. Most of them, I don't know who has acquired it differently, but there are people who have been mentioned for some issues. Okay. But generally, I would say we are yet to get there in counties, but it is a joint effort. It requires everyone to come in and realize that is a vice we have to deal with. Okay. And go out there to look for people that are probably not doing the right thing in their lives. And catch them.
Governor Wangamati, I want to bring you in still on matters corruption, but this time to do with healthcare, which has been a big concern in the counties. Now, back in 2018, the EACC released a survey, the National Ethics and Corruption Survey Report, which revealed that the departments of health across all counties have been cited as the most corrupt. By corrupt, people are not getting services. You have to pay or bribe for services. Maybe machinery is not available, yet it had been ordered for. It was public knowledge. This machine is coming, doesn't get there. One wonders where the money went to, etc. Do these findings, does that make sense to you? You've been in several COG meetings. Does health come up as an issue in the counties? Do you think there should be genuine concerns around that?
Absolutely. And I think if there's a sector within all the services that have been involved that is very emotional to people's health. Health is very emotional. It's real. You can't wait. For a road, you can wait. But you
cannot wait for good health care.
Yeah, you cannot wait for good health care. It's very emotional. And I think it's a sector that, as Council of Governors, we have been very concerned about. Secondly, Maura, I agree with you. I think if I just give you an example, one of the biggest problems where there's a lot of corruption in healthcare is non-collection of revenue that is being generated. If you go to a hospital, you need to pay before you get the service. But that money that you are paying does not get collected because, a group of people within the system will pocket that money. To give you an example, in Bungoma, Maura, we recently put in structures and systems to ensure that we maximize on our revenue collection. There's a health center in a small town called Chwele, where we were collecting an average of 30,000 Kenya shillings per month.
Per month.
But once we change the management and changed a few things here and there, we are now collecting 10 times, more than 10 times of that. We're collecting about 400,000 Kenya shillings.
400,000?
Kenya shillings per month.
From 30,000?
From 30,000.
You did your investigations. Where was that money going to?
Of course, that money was going to,
pockets of individuals.
Pockets, and that one we'll leave it to ACC to deal with.
Oh, you've reported it to ACC already?
That's something that ACC will deal with.
Okay.
But I think there's a lot of wastage, there's a lot of non-collection of revenue in healthcare, and as a result of that, we are struggling in ensuring that we have the equipment, we have enough drugs on time to ensure that when people come to hospital, there's drugs that they can get. So yes, healthcare is a very serious issue, and I think we have also had a lot of discussions with national government, the Minister of National Government, to see what we need to do going forward. We have also agreed in our last meeting, and Governor Tana River, I think, was not present, but we had a meeting with the President. And we agreed that going forward, as being part of his Agenda 4, as counties, we need to agree a percentage that we'll be allocating towards healthcare. So that...
a set percentage?
A set percentage.
Every county?
Every county. And I think that's something that we are discussing with Treasury to come up with regulations to ensure that the minimum that we put towards healthcare is about 25% or something like that. Okay. So that we ensure that we take up the issue very seriously.
I know we're due for a break, but let me just get a quick thought from you. The suspended medical leasing scheme, your thoughts on that?
My thoughts, Maura, is...
the courts say you don't have to pay for I don't know for what period. I'm sure the matter will go back to court for the court to give the way forward on the same.
That is an issue that is very sensitive. And as a Council of Governors, we have raised it many times more, that we are paying for equipment that we don't feel we need. A decision was taken by national government to basically procure this equipment at a cost we believe is much higher than the actual cost of this equipment. The amount of money that is being deducted at source. Yeah. It is an issue that we have raised it. We have raised it with the Senate, and we believe very strongly that it's a discussion that we need to have with national government on this list equipment.
Okay.
Because some of the things have been brought to counties that you don't need.
That you don't need.
But we are paying for them.
Yeah. And that right there will tease the next segment. Medical equipment, we'll get to hear from the governors on that issue. But first, we want to take a look again at your feedback, which is coming fast right here on Citizen TV Daybreak. Before we take this commercial, let's take a look at this SMSs, 22422. You don't say who you are, but 47 counties, 47 male MPs, 47 female MPs, 47 PLD MPs reduced and wards to about 30%. Abolish women reps and Senate, period.
Wow, strong thoughts there, strong views. Someone else, wow, nobody wants to give us your name today. You cannot expect governors to cede their turf. The country has too many MPs who do not represent us. Who are they representing? Kudos to Ouko as he retires.
All right. Let's take a look at this one. Wafula from Kisii. Wahiga, please ask Governor Wangamati whether he is aware of the poor state of Maliki nabbing
na Bingenge Naitiri Road.
There you go. Thank you. And I can't even think of traveling home. The road is a mess, Mheshimiwa. All right, we'll get his answer on that.
Okay, Mugambwa from Fangano Island. It is absolutely a waste of time talking about reducing counties. He says forget about it.
Okay, he just says that. Jerry, as you're watching from Kayole, you say to merge some of the small counties with low population is okay, but they shouldn't slash the budget.
All right, we have one more before we go to tweets. Wangamati is my governor, and to me, wow, he doesn't like your performance. He says we should not have a single tarmac road in Nairobi, Tongaren. He should be delivering roads, Governor. You tell us what's happening.
That's why he's anonymous.
And that's anonymous, yeah. One SMS, John Oronyi, cutting the number of counties is not our priority at all. Meanwhile, can the governors discuss distribution fee charged per county when selling goods, especially animal products? Surely 12,000 at county is too much.
Those are your thoughts on SMS. Let's take a look at what you're saying on Twitter before we get Governor Wangamati's thoughts. Kenya governors. It is the concern of the Council of Governors to run counties in a way that benefits Wananchi optimally.
That's at Kenya Governors or Council of Governors. And another one, Diema 6. I'm proud of my governor Bongoma. He introduced austerity measures that ensured what used to go to wastage is well utilized.
Would you also want to answer on that issue for roads? But we'll do that after this commercial break. We'll get to hear Wangamati's response on the road issue.
We'll be right back.